Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hand of Fate 2. So we finished the last mission and so we're right here with the next mission. Strength. Stealing half of an ancient relic from an ogre has left you dying and cursed. Gear up and claim the other half from Edicia's charm. So we're going to have grievous wounds, starting with 10 life, eating food not healing me. Interesting. So this one's going to be tough. We have Draknar the Mighty, and high defense will help reduce damage from the ogre's devastating onslaught, and dice throws will be a big thing. There be dice. So we unlocked quite a few characters as far as companions. We unlocked this companion and this companion in the last mission. In this case though, we will take the Wanderer because that would be bonus dice. That would make the most sense. Okay. And there's two things we can do here. We can either try for new things, or we could try for things that would potentially increase our health. See, there's a platinum equipment card that we unlock, so playing that card in particular might be useful. It is quite a long list here if we are just going to try to win that we could pick from. Cards we've already played and cards that we've already gotten all the rewards from. Let's see. I think we'll do Scouting Party. Palace Armory sounds good. Friendly Innkeep sounds good. Gaining Max Life sounds good. Let's see. Gaining Food and Trading Food sounds good. We don't know what this does. Pauper Dilemma. We'll try it, I guess. And then gain max life with that one. You can gain almost anything and trade food here, but this requires Malclips. Lose gold, lose food, dice. With the Market Thief. I want to get Market Thief done so we can get rid of that token, because there may very well be a card behind Market Thief that's very helpful. We want that card. Alright, let's go with Market Thief. And then new cards, we have no idea what they can do. So the rest of these require things. Alright. So then we have so many encounters that tells me this is also going to be a very long experience. Let's go with Payment Due or Street Fighter. Let's go with Street Fighter. And that's 13. Now we have no idea what we're going to be fighting, but I would suspect it would be ogres, so probably something that could benefit from that. See, Marksman's Blame is new, we'll take that. Northerners, maybe.
I guess that card is one of your favorites. I don't see the appeal.
I keep playing the card because I'm trying to get the reward on it. Let's see. We'll take that new card. That new card. That new card. It's just a lot of cards here, and we don't know what they do. This is the new platinum card we got. Okay. We want this card because we're going to be gambling a lot. Extra life, I think, is also a smart move. And then we'll take one of these masks. Take that one. We'll take that armor. Aim a spell that deals 50 damage, causes more damage when your life is low, max 500. Ooh, we'll take that. I guess the question here is, could we increase our health any? Yeah. I'm gonna assume no. So that seems like that's a smart move. Okay. So I could take a health tonic to be at like +5 max life. Or we could take healing spirits, which would let us heal, I think, kind of immediately. And then leather armor, we don't know what will happen there. Warrior's Axe, maybe? Sounds good. Not gonna take food, not gonna take max life, not gonna take gold. So we've spent a decent amount of thought here for what sounds like is going to be a really difficult challenge. I still wouldn't be surprised if I fail very quickly here.
Here is our evidence of your eagerness to leap into difficulties you cannot face. You must know yourself, hone yourself, sharpen your wits and your sword against the challenges ahead.
Alright. So we start with an injury of losing 90 life, leaving us at 10 life, but we can get back up to 100. The bitter taste of blood is the first indicator that you're still alive. Blind and disoriented, you make out a voice calling to you. A pair of strong hands shake you upright. Your vision steadies as Colborne, somber face, swims into view. Ask what happened. Colborne gestures you to be quiet. He presses his back against a boulder beside you and grimaces, holding his side. As your head clears, a booming voice echoes out from the deep in the foggy marsh. Oh, where have you crawled, ghasted mice? Let your insides be gut and bones be crushed. You peer around the rock, and from the mist steps an ogre, 3 times as tall as a man, and with a lumpen, vicious face. Lumpen is an interesting word. His one good eye darts about wildly as he surveys the area, hunting for something. So the card is just O or 0 ogre of no specific suit. The ogre grunts and scoops up a broken shiny trinket from the ground, splashed red with blood. Ruined with your dirty blood, wretched cut purses. Riven in 2. His great hideous face turns red. If thou listen here, I will find the twin, then I will eat thine eyes. The ogre lifts his club and smashes a tree trunk in anger. The tree creaks and crashes to the ground as Draknar the ogre turns and disappears back into the mist. Kobold grimaces as he holds his side, attempting to hide the severity of his injuries. Here, you are injured, eat. He throws you a medicinal herb bun. Weak to your bones, you gratefully take a bite. And the bread turns to ash in your mouth. You consume one food. Food does not heal. With a sinking realization, you pull the other half of the ogre's trinket from your pack. Sure enough, you feel the wrongness emanating from it. So we have half of Edesiah's charm. Fractured while holding only half food does not restore life. Bound, this card cannot be discarded. So it's a curse card. The stab of hunger hits your stomach. There's only one thing for it. You must steal back the other half from the ogre that almost killed you. The closest town is Drapier. Colborne whispers hoarsely, "We can't hope to defeat the ogre now." So our goal here is to defeat Draknar the Mighty. But obviously we need to strengthen ourselves first. Summoning your remaining strength, you lift yourself to your feet and stagger to town. And in that dialogue there were two questions I could have asked, but neither one seems like they would have been actually responded to. And I suspect, unlike the previous mission, we're not going to step on cards and expose a lot of new locations. So it's either up or down, so probably going to the right is a smart move. And we just have our random events here. We'll figure out what Pauper Dilemma does. The town crier announces the Empire seeks mercenary to join battle against corruption. You seek out the watchtower where the recruitment is taking place. You arrive in time to hear Sir Malfoy's plan to wipe out the Pauper district. The outbreak began there, and we cannot risk sparing any of their lives, he says. Let's see. Interesting, this dilemma, I feel like we've done this event or something like this event before, but it didn't give us the choice of fighting the corrupted or refusing to kill the paupers. Sir Malfoy the Green leads the mercenaries to the Pauper district, where the poor and sick have been walled off from the rest of the city. As you hear the wailing of the corrupted, Sir Malfoy gives the command to charge. Those who refuse to kill the paupers. The refuser does not sit well with the Imperial soldiers. Traitor, one of the soldiers shouts. Imperial soldiers surround you, shackle at ready. You draw your weapon and prepare for their wrath. So they just move to the other side. Yeah, the question is, how do you even survive this first fight? Like, you're gonna have to play events that are going to refill your health almost instantly. Let's see, Warrior's Axe.
I wish you no harm, yet we will do what we must. For the bear!
So with my healing potion, I was able to win that fight, but I used almost all of the healing potion. Fearful of your wrath, the rest of the soldiers retreat. You spot a peasant woman with a child hiding behind some barrels. You lead them past the wall, past gatekeepers who look pointedly in the other direction. Bless your heart, she says, holding back tears. Please accept this token of our appreciation. We gain 2 fame. We gain some food. And some more food. And we get that shard. but this is now completely used up. So unless there was some other way to refill it, we've got nothing. Moving forward, then, we'll go to swamplands. After another day of rainfall, the marshlands swell into the swamp. Water and mud obscure the path. As you press on, every direction it begins to look the same. Alright. So,
Games
can we
within
get...
games within games.
Alright. We need one higher dice. So it's probably the move to re-roll this. And then we'll accept an extra dice from Colborn, which will exhaust him. And it still fails. Wow. Boy, did that go back poorly. If Colborn gave us an extra dice at the beginning, that would be a much better advantage. Disoriented and slowed by the bog, you spend another day finding your way back to the path. You consume one food. As you scramble up the path, a booming voice echoes out from the marshlands as Draknar, "Hie to thy burrow, little mouse, I can smell thy blood." So is like every move going to be stalked by the... Let's just reroll all of those. There.
Well done. You continue to impress.
I wonder if that's exactly how this is going to go. It's just every move is going to end up being stalked by the ogre. With luck on your side, you lose Draknar in the morass and double back to the trail. You continue towards the Draper without delay. Let's see. A pale smog casts the city in a dull gray light as you navigate the narrow streets and back alleys of Iron Peak. Let's see. We haven't visited the marketplace. Let's visit the marketplace since we haven't explored that yet. The Iron Peak marketplace is large enough to house many stalls. As you wander through, you note many are vacant. Few people seem to choose the risk of shopping in such a public place these days, and those that do never linger for long. In a quiet corner of the market, you find a desperate man attempting to sell an unusual assortment of oddities. He picks up a statue of a three-headed creature, saying, "This statue of a healing spirit from a distant kingdom of Dutina is exactly what you need to survive the next attack from the Prince of Persia's." Let's see if we can just buy the statue. Just holding a small metal figure makes you breathe easier and fills your limbs with vigor. As you turn how much gold you owe, the supernatural chill travels up your arm and freezes your heart. Allies greed. Your companion takes 30% of your resources that you earn when they are active. Interesting, as a curse. "Sorry, stranger," the stall owner says, suddenly packing up the rest of his wares, "but I stole these from a particularly vengeful warlock, and his magic prevents me from just throwing them away. Good luck with that one." The man kicks the table over and flees down the back alley. You lose sight of him in the gloom and decide to abandon this godforsaken town. You leave the troubled town of Iron Peak with the impression that you have not seen all it has to offer. Definitely feels like Iron Peak has multiple paths. It's not really that bad of a trade, though, because my guy's not just going to be
that you have other skills beyond violence.
alive.
Yet, if there's one thing that the
Or
usurper
active that
has
often.
taught me, it's that violence can sometimes answer questions that otherwise have none.
Stirring in the mire, the poor weather slows your day's journey. To avoid the swelling bogs, you press on to the higher ground and happen upon an old road through the marshland. To the left, you make out a group of Empire brigands taking shelter by the side of the road. The dealer reveals the next steel monster card in the deck. Interesting. So it would be a captain of steel that we're either going to fight with or fight against. So that means that every suit, which it seems like maybe there's only 3 suits, has the enemies in an order, and it's not just random and computer generated. You check the path to the right, you hear the distant sound of a group of raiders squabbling in a northern tongue. The dealer reveals the next Frost monster card in the deck. So, Shame in the Frost. Interesting. Let's check our inventory and inspect. 1 Captain of Steel or 1 Shaman. I don't know which one is better, but I guess we'll go with Steel. This guy opens up as you ready yourself for combat.
Your artifact is empty now and will be of little use to you here.
So I guess maybe the idea is that you would run into more events such as this, that where you would pick who you're going to fight. So he doesn't look like he has a pistol, which is probably helpful. Command falls to the head of those who are loud, brash, and fortunate. Captain wears armor that does standard attacks. Use bash to break the armor. Trying my very best here to not take any damage, and really you kind of can do that. It's weird that you can do things like that, but yeah, and I think that's pretty much this scenario.
Fallen once more. Fortunately, this is but the lesser game, and we can try again.
Yeah. I don't think that there's really a chance here that I could do much better. Like, let's just see what the recommended would have been. Clear and feel. In this case, it was said taking this guy, which seems like maybe that would give you something. And then take this combination of cards. Okay. Then take this equipment. And then take a 5 max life and healing spirits and leather armor. I guess we'll just try it. It's probably worth giving it a try at least, as far as the recommended settings. Can we skip some of this animation? Not really. So we're at 105 max life.
For me, a blessed relief. You have pulled me away from eternity, and in the process, I have lost something fundamental.
So it's always 90 life that you lose. Okay. So this time we'll ask where we are. Barbara grins, covered in blood. He leans and whispers, "Ogre is coming for us." Let's see. So slightly different dialogue because we have a different companion. But for the most part, I think all of this dialogue will just be exactly the same. So if you're going to play something like this the second time, the real move is to just mash through that first dialogue. Alright, We have something different here. While carousing an imperial tavern, you suggest that the Emperor's forehead is overly wide. The laughter is cut short by the sound of a tankard breaking on the floor. A familiar soldier approaches. He clutches his shiny new captain's helmet in one hand, knuckles white with outrage. So this is the guy we defeated once already, and so we're gonna just end up dueling this guy, I think, multiple times. The Empire has no place for honor. Sell sword, he says loudly, seizing you with contempt. Coin slaves like you will more than undisciplined thugs. Nobody cares for your outrageous claims of heroism. That's the exact same line of dialogue it said before. You think you know how to handle that thing, do you? I'm Cassius, the finest styled swordsman in the company. Would you like me to prove your mettle against any real warrior or goblins? And the crop is the limit of your talents. I'm gonna slink away just to see if maybe that is the right move. Back to the stables with you, the soldier declares. You leave to the sound of laughter. We lose 2 fame. Well, that obviously was not what was supposed to happen there. I imagine maybe you were supposed to fight with a sword, but that was a great opportunity to do what was probably the wrong answer to avoid a fight. We'll see how good my dice rolls end up being. Not good enough. The layout may not be any different in this event. And with that, that might prove to be the way you actually can defeat this level. You spend another day. You don't actually fight the ogre. Five of Steel versus Trapper of Frost. Let's fight the raiders this time.
Let us see what the youth can do for you, huh?
This will be the first time our companion fights with us. The orphan. Wasn't really expecting that voice. Hubie the orphan. Some say the goblins are older than time. This goblin seems a little younger than that. When activated, Hubie taunts all enemies drawing attacks away from you. Stay close to charge that ability faster. Right. I'll just use Hubie as our target. And then so we can just use him as a distraction to avoid taking damage while we can beat up on the enemies. His taunt seems to be particularly good. With the raiders defeated, you notice some equipment hidden off the path in the mire. Perhaps they were guarding it. You slide down the bank of the treasure. Let's see how our dice rolls go here. So Hubie, very possibly more helpful in this scenario than having better dice rolls. Of course, we still need some success in dice rolls. Okay. So, Binding Brew. Let's go ahead and equip that now. Can we camp? Yes.
Gather yourself before you travel further.
The spindly hag beckons you toward a shabby stall on the edge of the marshes path. Let's see. We'll use our healing spirits. And then that would get us health back up. Let's see. Cooking food won't gain us any life, so this would either be a case of trading which we can see what we can buy. If we were to sell this, it would only be worth 1. And buying food's probably not helpful. So let's talk to Hubie. So he would recharge a bomb artifact, but then you lose him for 3 turns. But that does get my health back up. So now we are in a spot where we actually could win now.
Alchemy is one of the pure arts. That says little for its practitioners, however.
Countless jars and obscure artifacts clutter the room. On the central workbench, a peculiar glass beaker simmers over the flame. I see you found my laboratory, then the voice exclaims. From behind a pile of dusty books, a robed figure emerges. Clad in a pointy hat and a pair of thick spectacles, he smiles. Here to create the elusive elixir of life, or perhaps it is gold you desire. All is possible through alchemy. Alas, I have yet to prove that such things are indeed possible, he explains. No matter. Say, would you care to assist me in the experiment? Sure. It's either assist him and probably take some kind of pain of some sort, or just leave. Very well, let's begin. Taking a jar and placing its contents in the beaker, he says as he dips his quill in an inkwell and prepares to write. Remember, you must keep the elixir pure. You take the jar from the shelf and unscrew the lid. We just have like random things, so we probably want red mushrooms, if I was to guess. The jar contains a collection of red mushrooms. You place one in the beaker and it dissolves instantly. The clear liquid gains the faintest tint of red. Excellent, Alchemist says as he scrawls feverishly on his ledger. Now pick another. Reach for the next jar. So I imagine we're supposed to be matching colors here. So red beetle. The jar contains dried red beetles. You sprinkle a handful into the beaker and they dissolve instantly. The red elixir intensifies. Remarkable, the alchemist mutters as he continues to write in his ledger. This is looking promising. Now pick one more. So now we want... And we notice there is only one red feather. Gingerly, you add a blue feather into the flask. The mixture changes to a dull purple. Yeah, we wanted the red feather, almost certainly. An excellent balance of components, if I do say so myself, he remarks, looking at the purple mixture. Unfortunately, the emulsion is not entirely pure, and its integrity is quickly dissipating. You best drink it quick, he says, handing you the flask. The dealer draws you 2 life gain cards. Now our life is almost back up to max. There's no elixir of life, but it will do. The alchemist scribbles feverishly on his ledger. You thank him and continue your journey. So we probably won't get the reward. And if we had gotten 3 reds, it may have just increased our max life. I imagine 3 blues would have given us fame, and 3 yellows would have given us gold. I imagine there's not really a way you would have gotten food, but I don't know, maybe you could have gotten green somehow. No, green is a primary color, so if we didn't see any green options, we would have never gotten food. At least that's how I'm gonna guess that worked. So we want to play the alchemist when we have a spinning challenge, a mission that's going to have a lot of those Wheel of Fortune spins.
Push forward towards your final confrontation.
So forward we go to the next section. It's really not that big of a
Too many words obscure
mission, I
the
bet.
actual truth of the matter. Sometimes simple actions tell all.
Approaching Drapier's Gate, she knows a woman of enormous stature dressed in a blue tunic and leather apron, 3 smithing hammers hanging from her waist. You, she bellows, striding forward. I warned you not to go steal from that ogre. And look what happened. The woman embraces Hubie, who is bleeding heavily through his head bandage, still happy as a clam. You've got the poor thing hurt. As she pauses for a breath, you seize your chance to interrupt. So we can ask who she is. I'm Ariadne, the blacksmith's daughter, she says, surprised. We met at the Black Ale pub the night before you set off to steal Edisai's charm. I almost broke your wrist arm wrestling, remember? Ask about Edisai's charm. She pokes at the broken ornament. Gingerly, forgive me if I don't take it. The curse of Edisai's charm only affects the wielder. If it makes you feel any better, the ogre is probably starving now too. From the looks of it, the silverwork, this is an old relic indeed. Ask about the ogre. Draknar, she says, Draknar the Mighty, as he is known, has lived in these parts for an age. Many have tried to fell the beast before you two misfits, that's for sure, she explains, but few live to tell their tale. The ogre is notorious for ambushing travelers and traders alike. Not even Empire soldiers are safe in these parts. Accumulated a wealth of treasure plucked from his victim, including that cursed relic you have now. As she pauses for a breath, you have another chance for an interruption. Okay. So, did any of that information actually tell us anything? No. Are we going to unlock the blacksmith as a companion in this conversation? It doesn't feel like that's the case, but she must unlock somehow as a companion, just not yet. Aridani shakes her head. One blow from Draknar's club would crush you. You won't survive it unless you've got a good set of armor. Increase your defense in order to survive the ogre. So we now have a secondary goal, which explains why there's a silver and a gold goal reward. Listen, I help run a traveling forge. It's currently heading here. So we're going that way. Come see us. We'll sort you out with some good and proper armor. The piece of Edisai's charm weighs heavily in your pack. You wish to fling it in the mire, but some strange magic stays your hand. Starving and injured, you rest a while in town. The sun's warm rays do little to lift your spirits as the mosquitoes and flies torment you. To avoid the swelling bogs, you post to higher ground and happen upon an old road through the marshland. To the left, you see a group of cloaked thieves blocking the road. Or agreed. To your right, you see a group of Empire brigands taking shelter by the side of the road. Phalanx of steel. Well, we want the thieves then. Alright. The hum of mosquito fills the air as you ready yourself for combat. We still want to be cautious on our health, but I'm not super concerned about it. Let's see. So that worked out fairly well. No challenge, at least on the easy apprentice mode in that. With the thieves subdued, you notice a stash of treasures hanging precariously from a tree over the bog below. You reach out to cut the rope holding the spoils. It is very weird that there isn't just like maybe a indent in the table there where you would throw the dice and just not let the dice fly past where the camera can see. It just seems so silly that you have this spotlight of light and then the dice will, well, that was terrible, we'll just roll. The other way you could have done that is just have invisible walls, or just influence the way the animation plays. The sack falls from the tree and into the mire with a splash sinking into it onto the depths. Disappointed, you continue on your journey. Hubby pulls on your sleeve. That bomb, he squeaks. I'll make it as good as nude for you, and it will only cost you some of your soul. Talk to Hubie at the campfire to recharge your bomb. The question here is, the King's Road card, is that the end of this level, or is that just a helpful spot? After another day of rainfall, let's see. It is once again one of these scenarios where the repetition is fairly high in the event cards you're running into. It's getting pretty poor as far as an experience.
Starvation has been the end of many adventurers.
Your stomach grows at another day without food. You take starvation damage.
Your memory seemed filled with conflict and chaos, yet occasionally something merely pleasant slips through.
Chance upon a wooden cart overflowing with pears, pies, and many other items. Wonderful smell and wafts from the cart. Old farmer hawks his wares to the passerby, tarts, pies, and exotic lies. Interesting. It's this time it does say exotic lies. Unfortunately, I think we need tarts and pies. So let's buy some tarts. Seems that Chester's terrible mood has worried off many of the customers. He considers the towering stocks of tarts before finally deciding on a price. 10 gold. We'll pay him for the food, and then we're out of gold. Let's see what exotic lines. These nomads, you can't trust him. He passes you a fruit that is, by all accounts, a lemon, except for that the size is as large as a melon, coming into our land, stealing our hearts. Chester stares at the kind of wistful, gloomy exotics for a while before he finally decides on the price. We can't afford anything anyways, so 30 gold. And so that's the end of that. It's not a terrible outcome. Let's see, King's Road or this card. Let's just see what this card is.
Do not mistake immaturity for innocence. I'm sure he is far from either.
So here's our companion quest. You find your new goblin companion Hubie at the base of an oak tree, shaking the branches in an effort to find find his missing horn. Without my horn, the world will end, he squeaks. The great worm is coming to eat us all. I've seen the signs. I have. Hubie sits neatly onto the ground with his hands in his lap as if reciting his lessons. You'll know the worm is coming. When the weapon advanced to beat of a quickening bloody drum, when single people consume all crop and clan. I guess I have to end his statement. Let's go with this one. You guys, the words have spilled from your mouth of their own accord. In your surprise, your dagger slips from its scabbard and plunges into the toe of your boot. Whoops. Hubby squeals in alarm and then continues on. The end of days is nigh. When blighted creatures roam, or when brother turns against brother. Let's go with blighted creatures. Your throat burns as you speak the words. You hear a rustling from the forest. That's a lot of blighted creatures. I was hoping to fight a few. 3 or so. stuck in Blight. I didn't know that could happen. These guys are just running away. Do I need to actually fight this thing? Or do I really just need to take out these enemies? So either there's something else to fight, or we are supposed to like smash into this. It doesn't feel like really even doing any damage unless you're shield bashing. So you have to press the B button instead of the X button. It is still a very awkward fight mechanic. It just does not feel right. Little Hubie calmly continues his recital. His face splattered in blood. Pack your children and run. When the priestess of cold appears, when the mage encases himself in snow. Let's go with when the mage encases himself in snow. He spit out the words wildly, shoulders sagging under the weight of the prophecy. The chilling wind sends a shiver up your spine. And on that final day, a cat, most tall, will bring the worm to eat us all. Hubby finishes with a high-pitched screech, then grins as if nothing had happened. A long silence stretches between you, and you feel the weight lifted from your shoulders.
Not every quest needs to be for life and death, for the ends of the worlds and the domination of realms.
Hubie taps you on the knee with a gnarled finger and smiles at you unnervingly. I worked out where my horn is. An ogre ate it. The young goblin scratches a crude depiction of the ogre in the dusty ground. I need to kill lots of ogres with a special explosion bomb, so my horn stays intact when we search their insides. Take Hubie to his desired encounter. You wonder where you could find such an item. So, it is probably a case where this encounter is not the ogre encounter that will help with our companion encounter. Yeah, and it does just seem like there's gonna be more. Feeling dizzy from the lack of food, you find the road again. You weakly trudge on, knowing you must face the orc soon.
Perhaps you can gain the tools you need for the road ahead.
So a column of smoke and a clang of metal are the first signs that you're in the right place. As you round the bend, you see a forge outside the gates of Blackwater. You spy your new acquaintance, Eridine, assisting a blacksmith on the bellows. Ah, there you are, Eridine says with a smile. She removes the gloves to wipe her brow. These are the two I was telling you about, Anders. She says to the blacksmith, I almost broke this one's wrist in arm wrestling. So I hear you're out to fight an ogre, the blacksmith says. My specialty is improving armor and helms and the like. I must admit, it's normally only horseshoes and farming equipment I'm in these days. So it may take a while, I assure you. It'll be well worth your time. I think suit of armor being upgraded makes the most sense, so let's upgrade a suit of armor. Okay, choose an equipment card to upgrade. Okay. We'll upgrade that. You hand the smith your armor and he begins examining the item thoroughly, inspecting every joint and seam. Yes, I can certainly improve this, but it'll take several days. I'm heading to Cottonmore. Meet me there and the job will be done. Oh, if you bring another item to me there, I'll see if I can improve that one as well. You thank Anders and continue on your way. So now we're at 0 defense when we have lost the armor. Yeah. I should have given him the shield considering the weapons I have equipped. Which I don't know why I have this weapon equipped anyways. When this looks like this would do more damage. Maybe the heavy elements there makes this much slower than this. But we'll leave it alone. So yeah, I think there is still a very high chance that we will fail in our second attempt on this mission completely. If that happens, so be it. We just move on. We still don't really even have blessing cards unlocked well enough that we could have gone back and done some of the missions that we also failed on previously and gotten gold on it. So it definitely seems like the strategy here is to try every mission 1 or 2 times at most, move forward to the next mission as long as you can move forward to a different mission, and then come back once you've unlocked a lot more events and once you understand what the cards actually do. I still suspect there will be some missions that are more difficult than others, because some of these missions have been pretty simple and pretty easy. And I would lean towards believing that the final mission is probably going to be very long and very difficult, and you're going to need the best of the best cards to do well in it. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep on watching. Thanks.